Hello again, English 101. Your instructor Justin Mott here. As promised in the previous video, I want to show you a few things here in Canvas. Obviously, the first thing you want to look at is this Start Here section. We've got your syllabus and your schedule in there. And then this is really important. I mentioned in the previous video that the textbook is an online textbook. You're going to want to start in the textbook by clicking the student registration link. Please go through that. Don't try to get to the textbook in any other way. Make sure you click on student registration for Achieve textbook, start here in order to get in. That's going to basically make it nearly impossible for there to be any issues with you somehow not being linked into the class because the textbook is associated specifically to the class that you're in. Also, when you do that, you're going to have three options as far as accessing the textbook. You can purchase access to the textbook straight from that link. You can also enter an access code if you happen to purchase an access code from the bookstore or somewhere else. Or if you have not yet purchased the book and you're not quite financially ready to purchase the book yet, because we're going to dive into the book right away. And if you're not ready to pay for it quite yet, there is an option for free access. I believe it's 2 weeks free access to the textbook. So that'll get you, 2 weeks to be able to be in the course, 2 or 3 weeks, one of the two. But you'll be able to be in the course doing what you need to do, even if you aren't ready to pay for it yet, and then you'll just pay for it when your free access, before your free access is up. So, make sure you make that a possibility for yourself. And then the first assignment in the textbook is an English intro survey. For one thing, it just kind of gives me and honestly you an idea of where you are here at the beginning of the course, but it also kind of acts as a check-in assignment to make sure that you're actually, in the class and participating, kind of the online version of are you showing up to the first, class period or two. If you do not complete that English intro survey by September 1st, which is Wednesday, you will be dropped from the class. So make sure that you complete that. Make that the first thing that you do once you've registered for the textbook. We've also got this helpful materials section here, and it's basically just a bunch of stuff that I put on here that is going to be useful for you throughout the semester. Quick links for Canvas, another button to access the textbook, some materials for the writing process, body paragraph, outline, document, outline, video for body paragraph structure and progression. Okay, so those items there, outline to draft video, how to do intros and conclusions, those are all to help you out with your writing. Those are things that I want you to take a look at this week. I don't have a whole lot, as you'll see in a moment, I don't have a whole lot scheduled for this week because I really want you to get acclimated to the course during the first week. Check out all this helpful material stuff that I've provided for you and a few other things that I'll mention in a moment. There's also this metacognitive reading log video, Think Aloud bookmark, and some metacognitive reading log examples. You'll want to make sure you take a look at those because you'll be doing your own metacognitive reading logs starting in week 2. So you want to make sure you take a look at those and make sure you understand what's being asked of you. Next, we've got this section called diagnostics. Now, this is something in the textbook, and basically it's a really cool way for you all to, again, kind of understand where your strengths and areas needing improvement are when it comes to things like reading strategies, reading skills, punctuation, style, mechanics, and sentence grammar. Basically, you'll be taking a practice test that gives the system for each one of those 4 sections, that gives the system an idea of where you are now, and the system will come up with a study plan that is catered to your strengths and your areas needing improvement, more so to the areas needing improvement, so that you can work on those areas and grow in those areas. And then at the end of the course, you'll be taking a final test in each of those areas. And so it's a nice way for you to not only grow in these specific areas, but also to get an idea of how much, how much you've grown, to see your progress throughout this course when it comes to reading and grammar and punctuation, style mechanics, things like that. Now you'll notice that the practice test for each one of those is due September 5th, which is this coming Sunday. So that's another thing you're doing in this first week. You're reviewing the helpful materials. Well, first thing you're doing is registering for the textbook, taking the English intro survey, reviewing helpful materials stuff, doing your practice tests for the 4 diagnostic sections. And then a couple other things, since I mentioned in the previous video, we are going to be doing group discussions. It's the closest we can get to group work in an online setting. So there's just this little tutorial of what it is and why we're doing it. And then there's a Achieve orientation quiz just to get an idea of how well you're understanding how to navigate Achieve. By Achieve, basically, or by the way, is the program that the book is part of. That's where you're doing all of your assignments and all your readings and things like that. So how well you understand that. And then starting in week 2, we're going to really dive into readings and quizzes and reflection activities and things like that. But for the beginning, again, just to go over it one more time, you're going to do the stuff in the Start Here section, register, do the English intro survey, check out all the helpful materials stuff I've put up for you, do your practice tests for reading strategies, punctuation, style mechanics, reading skills, and sentence grammar. Take a look at this tutorial and do your Achieve orientation quiz, and that is going to take up your first week. One other thing I want to say, this is the view if you're taking a look at Canvas on a browser. I recommend always using a browser when you are working with this class, or any class really, on Canvas. The Canvas app doesn't automatically take you to see everything that you see here. If I open the Canvas, let's see, where is it? If I open the Canvas app, if I go into English 101 class, this is what you're seeing. What a lot of students do is they actually go to assignments and they just, spend a lot of their time here. As soon as it loads, give it a minute. Okay, so they spend a lot of time here, but this is just the assignments. You're missing out on a lot of that other stuff that I have on there for you. So if you do end up using the app, if you're, don't have another choice for whatever reason, your computer isn't working properly or whatever the case might be, make sure you always go to modules. Okay, click on that, because that's going to show you all that stuff that you were seeing on that last page. You've got your Start Here stuff, your helpful materials stuff, your diagnostic stuff, week 1, and it'll show you the weeks and everything I have on there for you, not just the assignments, because if you do that, you're going to be missing out on a lot of stuff that you need to not miss out on. So hopefully that's clear for now. If you ever have any questions, comments, concerns about anything, whether it's about this or anything else regarding the class, please do not hesitate to shoot me an email. or a message on Canvas. Uh, that is, I think, everything I want to go over on this. So, like I said, contact me if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will talk to you all again soon.